Welcome to Merlin's Magical Story Time. And as we're getting ready for the festive Christmas period, I thought, what better than to share with you some really Christmassy festive stories. So me and Merlin have been to the library and we've chosen some lovely stories for you. And let's just tie his bow. I've just noticed his little dicky bows come under. So let's make him a bit smarter there. I'm going to place Merlin here and then you can see him in all his glory. And I'm going to share with you this week's book, which is called The Queen's Present. And the author is Steve Antony. So we've got lots of pictures of lots of green elves, busy doing all their things. We've got a picture of Santa here on his sleigh. Oh, is that Mrs. Santa? I wonder. I'm going to read the back of the book, which is the blurb. And this gives us an overview of what the book is about and helps you to feel like you want to read it if you've seen it on the shelf somewhere. When the Queen needs a special present, who better to help her find it than Father Christmas? Follow them on a whirlwind tour of the world's best known landmarks, from the North Pole to the Sydney Opera House, via the Statue of Liberty, the Eiffel Tower and more. And on the back of the book, we've got a picture of. Do you know what this is a picture of? Now, I might have given you a clue because I might have just mentioned it then. And it's wrapped up all with ribbons. It's the Statue of Liberty, which is in. Do you know what country that's in? It's in the United States of America. Okay, so get yourself cozy. Merlin's ready for his story time here. He's got his lovely rainbow hair there to match with all the festive colours. So let's start us off. We've got a very important building there, this looks like. Let's have a look. It was Christmas Eve and the Queen still hadn't found the perfect present for the little prince and princess. I was going to say, is this Buckingham Palace at first? But actually, where do you think this picture is? I think it says on it here, all along here, it says Harrods. And Harrods, what type of shop is Harrods? Have any of you been to Harrods? Let's find out what Harrods is. So luckily, someone special was just around the corner to help. Who do you think is going to help the Queen find some presents for the Prince and Princess? Ho, ho, ho. Who's going to help the Queen? Father Christmas flew down the street and in a whistle they were off. So he's hooked the Queen up, put her in the sleigh. I wonder where they're going. Around the world in search of a perfect present. What do you think the Queen's feeling right now? Have a look. Does she look excited? Is she afraid? Because she's flying high in the sky with all these reindeer. They dashed over the Eiffel Tower. In what country is the Eiffel Tower in? It's in Paris. So Father Christmas has taken the Queen, all the reindeers dashing over to Paris. They pranced around the Leaning Tower of Pisa. What country would this be in? Any ideas? It's in Italy. They soared up to the Great Pyramids. Where do the Great Pyramids belong? In Egypt. Wow, so they went up the pyramid here and then down the pyramid here. They glided along the, let's see where they're going to go next. The Great Wall of China. Look how vast, hugely long this wall is. The elves now are in tow, aren't they? They're making sure that they gather lots of presents along the way. So each country that they're going in, they're gathering all these presents. Let's have a look at some of the, wow, look at this lovely, what animals this? What do the Chinese celebrate each year. We've got the Chinese, like the dragons, don't they? So we've got all the elves with the British flags. Can you zoom in and see the British flags, the red and white cross, the English flag, shall I say? They look like the English flag, but actually they're presents. They darted past. Oh, now this is a word I've not said before. The Himeji Castle in Japan. I've not heard of that before. Have any of you heard of the Himeji Castle in Japan? Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, so maybe you know how to say it properly. They swooped up to, where do you think they're going to go next? Sydney Opera House. In what country is that? Australia. This big building, unusual shapes. But do you know what they do in the Opera House? It's a bit of a theatre. They do lots of performances. So all the elves getting more presents along the way. They're decorating as they go along as well. Where do you think they're going to go next? We've been all the way around the world. So some of these places are very important. What's this? Do you remember at the back of the book? What did I talk about at the back of the book when I talked about the blurb? It was the, can you remember? Let's see. The Statue of Liberty. Do you think you'd guess it was the Statue of Liberty with all those ribbons all over it? And all the way, the elves decorating all the buildings as they go along, taking more presents. So they go, where can they go next? And most importantly, where does all the magic happen for Santa, Mrs. Claus and the elves? It's the North Pole. All this Christmassy, snowy festives. So the elves are bringing back all the presents. Look what the elves have got. They've got a ride. Do you know what this ride is called? I think it's a merry-go-round. Would you like to go on the merry-go-round, Merlin, in the North Pole? I think Merlin would fit in really well in the North Pole. He could fly as well, I'm assuming, because he's magical, aren't you? Well, we don't know about that now, but maybe in some of his other stories, when they're released, we might find out. You say so yeah, the North Pole, but they still couldn't find the perfect presents. So maybe they've not been picking up the presents, they've been wrapping the elves along the way. It was nearly Christmas Day, so Father Christmas took the Queen home to, so this is the question, where does the Queen live? Oh, actually, this is surprising me. This is not Buckingham Palace. Where else does the Queen live? Do you know a name of another important palace? It's Sandringham House. And I'm trying to think where Sandringham House is. Is it in Scotland or is it somewhere in South England? There's a question for you. Go and find out where Sandringham House is in England, because she's probably got a few homes. So this is where the prince and the princess received all the best presents. So Santa is now dropping the presents down the chimney like he does. Oh no, does Santa come down your chimney like that, create all that dust? A mess. A Christmas cuddle from Grandma. So the best Christmas present ever is a Christmas cuddle. After all those visits to all those iconic places, they didn't pick any presents, which I thought they were doing, but they were wrapping the places up with decorations. So sometimes a Christmas gift is not something that costs money. And if you watched the Smile story last week, that was about having something that doesn't cost anything, but gives you much joy and happiness. So we've got the last page here. Merry Christmas, would you like a cup of tea? So sometimes it's the gestures, it's the doing. Father Christmas was giving a good gesture. He took the Queen all around the world to help her find something. He didn't need to do that. He could have made things in his in his place in the North Pole with all his elves, but he took the Queen on this magnificent tour of the world. And in the end, they found happiness through a cup of tea, through a hug and a cuddle. But one thing that they did experience is, and what we taught you there, is some of the landmarks, the iconic places around the world, and some of the traditions that we saw. Can you remember what animal or creature we saw in China? Should we double check? What did we see in China? We saw the dragon, didn't we? Let's see, what did we see in Egypt? What landmark did we see in Egypt? We saw the pyramids. Let's see where else we went. Okay, what about in Paris? Can you remember the name of the tower in Paris? Now, because we live in England, many of us, we've got a similar tower called Blackpool Tower. But what's the one in Paris called? It's the Eiffel Tower. So traveling the world, looking at all these riches and iconic landmarks is not the moral of the story. The moral is Christmas is about family. Christmas is about the good gestures and the happy times. And Merlin just wants you to be happy this Christmas. So we're going to be sharing lots of things on here to keep you entertained. So we've got some stories coming up. And what's that, Merlin, he say? We've got something new coming along? Yes, me and Merlin have created some meditations, and they're going to be Meditate with Merlin. They're going to kind of replace these stories, although I'm going to put them in as well sometimes. Meditate with Merlin is going to be for your children. They're going to be themed. They're going to help your children with different aspects of their emotions and their feelings and different areas of their life. And we're going to start on Christmas Eve. So come and join us Christmas Eve for the first meditation. It's going to be themed around Christmas Eve, and then will be released every Sunday as well with a different meditation theme. And one extra thing we've got going on is we've got a fantastic jingle. So I'm hoping you're going to find that jingle when I release it, and we're going to have a little bit of a sing-a-song. So we've been working on that in the background. If you don't already know, we've got a book out, me and Merlin. Let me just get that. We've got Merlin's Magical Journey, The Rose Garden. And this book helps your young people with their emotions and their feelings regarding fear. Merlin takes them on a mindful journey, helping them to explore simple, positive ways to feel good again about themselves. And that's available on Amazon. I'll put all the details in the description. If you've never subscribed to my channel and you're just watching me now, please subscribe, because there's weekly content with videos for meditations that I just said are coming up. We've got a few more stories that are coming up, and as you can see, here's a couple more stories that are going to happen in December, and I shall see you for the next one. We'll see you later. Bye.